Singapore is a luscious green big city. It is like nothing we have ever seen before. The mixture of the trees and the skyscrapers was just unbelievable. But there were some things that seriously shocked us about this country.
I'd say the main thing that shocked us, or at least the first thing that we encountered, was the pricing of the foods. We went to hawker centers for the majority of our meals. That's where the big food courts are. We had such a great time there, and the food was relatively inexpensive, but it was definitely different than the food prices in restaurants.
It was crazy because we would go to restaurants and it would be like, $20 for a plate of food. But then the second we walked into a hawker center, it was like $1, $2, $3 for a full plate. It was so crazy.
That is definitely something, like if you're traveling to Singapore, you definitely want to have a lot of your meals at these places with just the open food courts, because that's where the locals actually eat like the majority of their meals.
And the food was delicious. We had the best dumplings of my life.
And the next thing that shocked us,
it was so clean and so safe. Normally, we don't love big cities because they're usually a little bit dirty. You don't feel entirely safe there, but Singapore, it was almost like a big small town. Like, the streets were clean. We never felt unsafe, even like walking around at night doing all the things. Like, it was unbelievable how like safe we felt.
Yeah, and of course, like, we knew some of this going in. Of course, we're going to do a little bit of research before we go to a new place. So we knew that, like, people like to talk about how it was clean and how it was safe. And so we were expecting it. But, like, this just completely blew us away. Like, when we actually got there and we were walking around the streets. The other big cities that we've gone to around the world, like, this one is, like, maybe the cleanest, maybe the safest.
It was amazing. Highly recommend going there.
And modern too.
Oh,
like, we can't
so
forget
modern.
Can't forget about that.
All of the technology and the super trees and the buildings, like, it is just like mind-blowing.
And I guess that can lead into the next point of, like, it being so modern. Like, when we talk about public transportation, like, what a huge, like, win and also shock to us, because usually public transportation, I guess it kind of has the reputation of just like being dirty and gross. You only use it if you have to, or if it's like the most convenient option and it's very cheap. But with this, okay, well, one of the things that shocked us about the public trains was how cheap it was.
Yeah.
And we can get into that, but also, yeah, just like how safe and modern it was.
They were so clean, and like they didn't even let you drink water on it, which that was a little bit shocking. I think that people should probably be allowed to drink water, but I get it because they want to keep it like super clean and safe for everyone, but it would have been nice to be able to drink water.
Yeah, I think they have the food and no food and drink law there, right? It's actually like a law.
It just had a bunch of posters in the MRT that said like, don't eat or drink.
No food or drink. I think that's definitely to cut down on all the spills and messes in there. But for a lot of the stops that we went to, like some of the times we were just going like 3 or 4 stops on the train, and it cost 99 cents. It
was crazy.
Like, and it's in Singapore currency, so that's even less in United States dollars. So like just 99 cents per person to take the train. And even if you wanted to go like all the way to the end of the line, it's only like $2 or $3, maybe $4 max.
It is so nice that you have cheap options to get around and cheap options to eat in Singapore, because we didn't know if we were going to be able to do a lot or eat a lot, because Singapore is such an expensive city. Like, it is one of the most expensive cities in the world, but it's so shocking that they have such cheap options as well. Like, the MRT is super cheap, the hawker centers are super cheap, so I didn't think that you would be able to do Singapore on a budget, but you really can. We kind of knew this one going in just because we knew that Singapore used to be like a rainforest or a jungle and it rains a lot there, but wow, it rained a lot when we were in Singapore. Like, just the most heavy downpours I think that we've seen since we were in Costa Rica in the rainforest.
Yeah, like, I guess we should have realized that, yeah, Singapore is an island, kind of has that like the island climate where maybe it's like really sunny for like 1 hour and then like really pouring for the next. So definitely would have packed better. I think probably,
Maybe,
or at
yeah.
least just like went out and bought like a raincoat,
Yeah, that
like
would've been nice.
before or during. It just rained pretty much every day while we were there.
But honestly, I loved it. I love the rain. So, and it made it not so hot because Singapore can get very, very hot. So I think we kind of lucked out because it was like not chilly, but it definitely wasn't hot when we were there because it was raining so much. One of the most shocking things about Singapore is just how strict their laws are. You are not even allowed to chew gum. It is illegal to chew gum in Singapore.
That's very, very shocking because you just wouldn't even really think about that, or at least I wouldn't think about that unless like somebody told me about some law saying I couldn't do it. And of course we mentioned like the no food or drink on the MRT, the train system. There's just like other laws too, like you actually can drink alcohol like out in public.
In public, yeah.
Which is interesting.
I was actually shocked that you could even consume alcohol in public at all in Singapore. Like that was very shocking to me that you could do that.
Well, just like out in public, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you could, of course, you could do it at like restaurants. And
Yeah.
stuff. But also just like the no noise. Like you can't make noise. Like there's a sign that we found during the downtown area of our little walk around the city, and it said like keep noise volumes down when it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And
Like-
so just like all these like little laws that are like pretty strict, but like
Yeah.
I guess it keeps like the society like I guess as safe as possible, or like it's just like making sure that like everything is running smoothly.
It makes it clean and safe, and the punishments are pretty extreme for like all of these things. Like a few people commented on our videos, they were like, it's so funny because you'll see like CEOs of like big companies, like they're like cleaning the streets because they got caught littering. So like it's so funny. Like a lot of the punishments are super extreme, but it's also cool because they don't give you a break. If you are a super rich CEO, you still have to do it no matter what. But obviously we don't live in Singapore, so we can't really have too much of an opinion about these laws and the way that it works. But that brings us into our next point of just how multicultural Singapore is. We knew this going into it, but like, it is so diverse. When we got off the MRT in Little India, I legitimately felt like we were transported to another country. Like
India,
yes. It was so crazy.
Yeah, it's just like walking like 5 minutes down the street and seeing like this Hindu temple and this like Methodist church, and just like there were like a Muslim place of worship, like just like
Buddhist,
everything.
yeah.
Like, and it's just so interesting how like everybody is like so different in this very small area, but they all get along so well.
We had like the best Indian food and the best Chinese food. Like I just love that you can get such authentic food there and you're not in India or China, but oh, it was so good.
And you only have to ride the train like 2 stops to go switch up completely to like a new culture. That was definitely like shocking, like when we realized like, oh wow, like it can change so fast.
It's so beautiful to see like all of the cultures coming together.
And another shocking thing that we found was that everybody spoke English. Like it's not like that shocking when you like look up Singapore and you realize that like English is their language.
This guy came up to me and we just had like a super easy conversation, and after that I was like, whoa, that was so easy. Like I didn't have to like point or like anything. Like I wish that we could learn all of the languages. I wish that we could know Thai and Vietnamese after that, but we can't because we would have to learn a lot of languages. But it was so nice to be in Singapore and just have like easy flowing conversations. Singapore is just one of the coolest places we have ever been to. We loved it so much, and we are so sad to be leaving, but we are excited to be going to Vietnam, so we hope that you will stick along on our journey as we travel through Asia and the rest of the world. If you want to see another one of our Singapore videos, we will put that right here for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.